Illinois goes down at the State Farm Center to the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But first, this recap is brought to you by Tinker Coffee. TinkerCoffee.com, discount code SLEEPERS. You can get 15% off your first order. Cart, you are drinking from a Tinker Coffee cup right now.
From the Tinker Coffee Cup, I also shout out to the Zing Blend, which is my current favorite. Shout out to Tinker. Sent me a few different ones to try out right now, but I think the early leader in the clubhouse is the Zing. I will be getting the reoccurring shipment for this one for sure.
Well, if you do set up a recurring order on one of Tinker's blends, you get up to 25% off in addition to the Sleepers discount. Promo code Sleepers, tinkercoffee.com, virtual coffee cheers. Let's get into it. Nebraska 83, Illinois 80. This was quite the game, just from an entertainment perspective. This was very high on my watchability rankings. I think Nebraska played largely amazing for this entire game. I thought Illinois responded and did a lot of good things as well. Brad had to tinker with some lineups, but I think he pulled most of the correct strings here. And in the end, almost stole this one away from Nebraska on a night where they shot 46% from three, 32 points from Price Sanford. In the end, it just wasn't enough. Despite a couple big plays late, I think their youth also showed maybe a couple inexperienced mistakes on the defensive side. They couldn't ever really figure out the defense in this game, regardless of timely shot making, regardless of some scoring inside. I just didn't think they did enough on the defensive end to get a win. On the flip side, Nebraska is really good. I mean, I,
Mhm.
I think this was very much like a cement it in stone. We are here. We have the nation's longest win streak. I think they're about to skyrocket up in the polls. We'll see where they come out today. KenPom has them all the way up to 21st nationally as they sit here 11 and 0 right now. I mean, I don't want to look backwards because this is about the Illinois game, but I mean, they beat Creighton by 21, Wisconsin by 30, and then just went into Champaign and walked out with a road win in which they led for probably 90% of. I think this starts with how impressed I am with Nebraska. Cart, do you agree with me?
Yeah, 100%. Because I think that they obviously had the very fast start in this basketball game, and to your point, I thought that Brad and the staff in Illinois in general made some pretty good adjustments in the second half. But when it comes down to it, this Nebraska team is just so unbelievably solid and sound in what they do and what their team philosophy and vision is that they didn't get out of their comfort zone, really, right? Like, even in a game where, for the most part, and this is credit to Rank Mask, he's a good basketball player. He actually struggled, even though he had 17 points, 7-15, 7 rebounds. He's a player who's been putting up incredible numbers as of late. But whether it was, even guys like Sam Hoiberg making timely decisions and timely plays, it seemed like when it got down to it, Nebraska players were able to execute on both ends of the floor just a little bit better than Illinois was able to. And even in that point, Illinois had a chance to win this basketball game. And once again, Nebraska completely remains calm, cool, collected, all those words. And Jamarcus Lawrence makes a massive shot at the end of the game to win it.
Yeah, it was just really fun to watch the way they play. And I feel like at the risk of just I don't know, kind of victory lapping or tooting my own horn here, this game went exactly how I thought it would in the preview. Not even talking outcome, just exactly how these possessions played out sort of game by game. I thought in the first half for the first 10 minutes, Nebraska built a 30-16 run, or a 30-16 lead. A lot of that was just Sanford going nuclear.
Mhm.
And to me, that is where the questions come in. Why couldn't Illinois figure out what to do with him defensively? On the offensive end for Illinois, they scored 11 points in the first 10 minutes. I just thought they got completely baited into exactly what Nebraska does well. They swarm the paint. If you drive, there's three bodies there. If you make a post entry, they're going to triple team from weird spots. They make you kick out and they scramble to the correct guys. I thought, Wagler actually got loose from three more than I expected in this game. He went 4 for 8, but they funneled three basically open threes to Andrei Stojakovic. He goes 0 for 3. Murk was unplayable and benched in the second half because if he was on the court, he would have had a gun from three, I think, and made iffy decisions in the paint as a passer. They limited Tom Ivicic's attempts. He only went 1 for 3 from three in 29 minutes. Like you could tell that was the guy they were like, we won't leave him. We'll leave anybody else, but we won't leave him. And that's what they do. That is what Nebraska does, like to a T. They force you to beat them one way on their terms. And Brad's response in this game, I thought, was going to his bench shooters. He played Jake Davis 18 minutes. He played Ben Rickhouse 16 minutes. Those guys went 2 for 7 from three. But I get why they were on the court because the way Nebraska guards demands that you have guys that will make catch and shoot threes. And I'm just really impressed with Nebraska's response. I'm impressed that Illinois didn't go away either because I thought there were moments in this game where Nebraska really almost, when Sanford can't miss, it felt like they could have won this game by 20 and no one would even care. But for Illinois to make that comeback early, make the late furious comeback in the final 3 minutes, tie it up with 30 seconds left, like they didn't go away. To me, this was very much Nebraska kept slamming the door shut and earning a victory here.
Yeah, they're just a tough team. They're a tough team, and I think what they do, to your credit once again, what they do is a bad matchup for Illinois. And Illinois didn't take advantage in the spots that they probably could have to maybe get across the finish line on this one. But yeah, it wasn't offense. I mean, not an awful thing. You put up 80 points in this basketball game, but for an Illinois team, that feels awful. But at the end of the day, like I said, it got close there, and Illinois looked like they were actually going to get across the finish line and pull this one out. And it was big play after big play. Coach Hoiberg getting a great set going. I think he had that one where Illinois made a really, really solid run with all the shooters on the court. And they kind of had Price Sanford come off a little baseline screen. He rubbed right off it, hit Mass on the roll for an easy layup. They had a bunch of moments like that where they just remained cool, calm, and collected.
Right. Yeah, Hoiberg out of timeouts, Hoiberg ATOs in this game were like 95% hit rate to me and largely getting layups, not even like wide open threes. Like,
Yeah, which by the way, defense.
yes, I have a long discussion to have on Illinois' defense when we get to that portion of the program. I want to get through a few more just like Nebraska love fest bullet points
They
because,
did win.
well, they won, number one, but number two, I think this is you and I's adopted team this year.
Oh yeah, we're Huskers.
Like make it official. This was the game that stamped it.
Yeah, this is it. This is it for us. Yeah.
And to be clear, I still love Illinois. I still really like this team. Again, I predicted a Nebraska win in this game. I'm not really surprised whatsoever. This does not change my opinion of Illinois at all. I still like Illinois to make a Final Four run. I still think Illinois is very good at basketball. This is just not, yeah, it wasn't the game for them. And Nebraska executed, and that's fine. You could disagree with me and say, well, we're at home and we're better. It should be a game for us, even if stylistically it's bad. That's fine. I'll listen to all that. But Nebraska's tough, man. I love
They
this team.
they also were double-digit favorites at the crib.
Never should have been. Never. That line was the worst line of the year. And I tried to tell people, and I still was getting tagged and trolled about it. Like, even if you didn't bet the money line, you're different. 10.5 was insane for this game. Nebraska is a top 15 team in the country. Illinois would not be favored by 10 over Michigan State, over Purdue. Like, I get it. It was at home in a snowstorm. Fine. Nebraska is awesome. Like, we have to start viewing them at, like, honestly, without disrespecting your team too much, right on Michigan State's heels in terms of caliber. Like there is a world this team is the fourth best team in the Big Ten, and it is not that crazy.
I mean, they're good enough for sure. They're good enough and they're well coached enough. I'm not mad at that.
Illinois is going to go play them in Lincoln later this year, and if Illinois is a road favorite in that game, I will be all over Nebraska again. Like I just think they're as good as Michigan State and Illinois this year. It doesn't look that way because their name's Nebraska, but like this team rocks. Like rank Mast. Let's just start with personnel stuff, I guess. So I was actually frustrated with Mast in this game, and he finishes with 17 and 7 and 2 assists, hit 3 threes. In a lot of ways, I think what Rank Mass did in this game was basically what Tommy Avicic used to do.
Mm,
Oh, 17 and 7, make three threes. Pace us. I'm our second best player. This looked an awful lot like Tommy Avicic last year. And I got Tommy questions we will get to later in this when we get to the Illinois portion. But I was frustrated because they kept switching guards and Hamrickhouse on a rank,
mm,
and they just refused to give him a post entry.
yeah.
It's driving me crazy. I felt he could have had 30 in the second half with the way they changed up defensively, but he's still so good. Like if a quiet night from Rank Mast is 17 and 7 and 2 on the road, that's one of the 15 best players in the league, you know?
Yeah, and I think that, when it came down to it, he's still a player that's gonna produce to that level. But he's that good at 17 and 7, where as you and I were watching, we're like, oh, he could get absolutely anything he wanted in the post, which by the way, anybody could in this basketball game. It had to be fun to play offense against this Illinois defense. Layups, post up like points in the paint, come off screens, no one's there. If there is someone there, they're not really gonna deter you from doing what you want to do. Go to the cup, set one screen, and you're gonna score.
Yeah. Yep, lots of defensive questions for Illinois, no doubt about it. I think if we're doing just what happened in this game, the story defensively was Price Sanford and how they tried to deal with it. Maybe we can kind of use Price Sanford's performance in this game and segue that into Illinois defense, but came out the gates on some other shit. I don't know how else you describe it other than that. I think he had, what do you have, 26 in the first half?
I think so, something like that.
I think he was at 19 points roughly 10 minutes into this game.
26 in the first half, 10 for 13 from the field, 6 of 8 from three.
He finishes 6 for 11 from three, 12 for 18, which honestly, it doesn't, I think, I don't want to say credit, but like when you read that out loud, it doesn't sound like Illinois did anything to adjust.
Hmm.
Illinois actually did a pretty good job taking him out of the game in the second half.
Yeah, maybe should have tried that at first.
Right, right.
Like,
What did you see? I guess two sides of this. Side number one, Price Sanford looks an awful lot like the best version of Peyton Sanford ever.
mhm.
That's just a dude. Like in a lot of ways, that is just a dude. He might be in line for all conference numbers. Like I think there's an argument that Price Sanford has sort of emerged as maybe the most prolific wing scorer in this league this year. I don't think it's that crazy. Like trying to think who else it would be.
Is Yaxel a wing?
He doesn't count.
Okay. I mean, he's in the conversation.
He's like basically just a super, I don't know, like sauced up Fletcher Lawyer, but more off the bounce. And I'd like he's just on some different shit. So that's the first side of this is like Price Sanford's just really good. He's gonna be an all Big Ten player. And that's why Nebraska is so good is Price Sanford and Rank Mast as a duo are formidable. They're a
Mm,
top 12 team in the country level star duo. They're very good. Then on the flip side of it is what the hell was Brad's defense doing here to
mm,
open the game? Not how did they adjust? We can go down that path next, but like coming into this game, it almost appeared they weren't even worried about Price Sanford until he made three or four of them, and then they scrambled and were like, "Well, shit." To my eye, maybe I'm wrong. Much of the first half, they were guarding him with Merck. It looked like that's who they started him on,
mhm.
which made no sense. And even if that wasn't who they started him on, they shouldn't have been switching Merck onto him so easily. I thought the first 10 minutes of this game, the sequence was a huge reason why Merck got so like disengaged again. And we do have to have a Merck combo because I'm coming up with a lot of reasons why he keeps getting disengaged. At a certain point, I probably got to stop making excuses for my boy, and he needs to be engaged.
Yeah, you do because yeah. Merck got some of it, but it was also just like everyone as a team to me. And sorry to cut you off. Everybody is a team in this one. was very much a factor into this. For as great as an on-ball defender that Colin Boswell is, I think he struggled a little bit off the ball in this basketball
A
game,
little bit.
a good amount in
He
that
got
first half.
devoured. And this is
Yeah,
like the third game this season that Kylan's gotten devoured individually as a defender.
and to be honest with you, I think it seems pretty easy, and I think that coaches see it now. All you got to do is set a ball screen, and you get a switch, and it's basically food from that point. That's all it is. Whether it's drop, whether it's whatever you want to call it. Price Sanford, like, sure, did he hit some maybe a tough three here or there? Sure. Also, like Illinois just fell asleep. And like a guy that already hit four in a row has done this. And now you look at like what has happened this season with this Illinois team. It's like, what is the defensive philosophy? Bruce Thornton, we're coming off a half of Bruce Thornton giving you 20 and a half. LeBaron Feinstein gave you 20 in the second half. You're letting these guys, I think, just give you like I don't know if that's the way you want to do it and try to shut everybody else off, but like at a certain point, you are just letting one player go off and quite frankly get easy shots.
Yeah. And I think look, if you're an Illinois fan, I totally understand how you could tell yourself after this game, well, shit, they had a player go nuclear, and if not for that, we would have won. I think at halftime, there was some of that. Like it was tied at half, right? Illinois had that furious comeback in the final 6 minutes of the first half. And I think the talking point from Illinois fans was like, damn, Nebraska's got to be crushed at halftime. Like they go into that locker room feeling like we played perfect basketball. We could not ever get this Sanford again, and we're tied. And I didn't feel that way. I was pushing back in the moment on that with the Illinois fans. I'm just like, hey, Sanford played perfect. Nobody else is even playing well. Like I think
Mhm.
Rent Mass was like 2 for 7 at halftime, pretty uninvolved. None of the guards were doing anything. Like I just that was not my takeaway at all. It was like Nebraska is not going to come out of that half feeling like anything was unsustainable. Like if anything, they're going to get the other guys going, and that is ultimately what happened. I do think that speaks to Nebraska's mental toughness, their vettiness, their experience, all that shit as a group. But I don't know. I like. Did you think this was just an out of body Sanford game, and like if not for that, Illinois wins the game?
Not really, no. Because I didn't necessarily think anything that he was doing was just like, oh my God, he's just hitting some stupid things now. He's a good player and a good scorer.
Right.
And you let him get going. He had some layups in there, man. Legit
Right.
layups. He had layups, he had open threes. Like there was one, and I'm trying to remember who exactly did it, but it was classic, like, oh, he threw the ball away, defender stands up, relaxed, peeks over his left shoulder. They threw it right back to Price, and he had a really good look from three. And this is after he had already hit six. And now you're just like having mental lapses on that end and like just let him go off. So no, nothing about it really like was he hooping? Yeah. Was anything he doing like, oh my God, this ain't gonna happen again? Or this shouldn't be happening? No. It's not like I don't even know what you want to put it as, but I'll do it my own team. It's not like Divine Uguchukwu came out and just started busting your ass for 20 and a half.
Right.
This is a really high level, all Big Ten level player, and you let him get going.
He is one of two things that should have been we have to limit this on the scouting report.
Right.
And look, to whatever the game plan was, I give them credit for getting masked off his pivot early.
Mhm.
I just don't know how you didn't have a better plan for Sanford, straight up. And it maybe again, if Illinois wants to say, well, like that's what we do. Our identity is just we're going to be big and switch things like that. That's the scheme. Deal with it. Like, doesn't this sound real repetitive to last year, where like Illinois would lose a game at home in conference play, and you and I would bitch that they just kept letting Nick Martinelli get the worst defender on him?
Yeah, I don't get it.
You don't have to switch everything, and I guess if that's the scheme at this point, I hate the scheme. The defense has fallen to 40th defensively. And again, tactically, I thought Illinois made some adjustments that worked in the second half. Nebraska just responded and made the plays anyway. And we can talk through some of those adjustments. But at this point, no, I'm not. It perfectly unacceptable result with Sanford in the first half. And if you want to say, well, he just got hot, I would actually argue he got wide open a lot. Kylan lost him repeatedly. You kept having non-defenders defending him. Merk was on him way too much in the first half. Like and if Kylan is going to be on him, he's just got to do a better job. I don't think they really used Wagler on him much this game. I think you could have. I don't think they used Andre on him enough when he was going nuclear in the first half. Like this roster is supposed to have answers for a player of Price Sanford's caliber. They just didn't give him enough attention, in my opinion, until they looked up like, damn, we're down 16 and he has 20. Should probably figure that out. And maybe that goes back to the point I made in the preview. This feels like it's almost institutional at this point, doesn't it?
Yes.
In the Brad Underwood era, when you have two straight good performances, you have a mentally flat one.
Hmm.
I gave you the number. Like it's been 4 years since they've won three straight games against top 50 teams. Like they'll do it once, they'll do it twice, and then whatever happens, they will shoot themselves in the foot. And it's hard for me because I love this Nebraska team. I don't think this is a bad loss, but also they're right. If they just like have any answer for Sanford in the first half, you don't get behind by 16 points and you win this game.
Right. And even if you want to have the conversation too about that, and I think that's fair, but if you wanted to pivot from that, right, you wanted to maybe look within about what you're doing more so, and we talked about the defensive end of things, maybe you want to go classic Illinois here, score more points. Um, Getting 7 points from your starting front court is awful.
Yeah, I don't think the offense was the issue at all tonight, though. But I hear you. If they need to go back to like we will score 100 and beat you, yes, you would like to think they could do that. But scored 1.3 points per possession. That's basically what Nebraska did. To me, this game was entirely lost because of defense.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
Which maybe that's just gonna be it. Maybe it's yeah.
But like, isn't this Illinois defensively?
I don't know.
I think it works. See, here, and I got a theory, and I want to know if I should go further with it. You can decide. They looked really good defensively against Tennessee, right? For the
Yeah.
most. Tennessee's also a team with a little bit of offensive identity issues. Gillespie's a little bit on the smaller side. Amen's also a little bit on the softer side, even though he is a taller person. Um, if Illinois just goes up against what?
If you ever describe me that way, I think I would actually I'd need a home. Like
What? What?
he's a taller, he's a little bit on the soft side, even though he's a taller person.
Yeah, that honestly, people have said that about me a good amount of times, and it hurts every single time. But like to this point, I just think that there's a certain type of player and playing style that you can not like out tough this team, but you can get what you want. You can get what you like. Bruce Thornton got whatever he wanted. LeBaron Finland's an All-American, but he really got whatever he wanted. He got the shots he wanted. It seems to me that if they play teams that realize they can get whatever shot they want, and that Illinois can't really like, scare them with their size or anything like that, you kind of just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there's an answer, and I'm looking at Crocker. Looking at Crocker. You brought in a guy and loudly publicized that he's your defensive coordinator. Okay. What's fundamentally different about this year's defense than last year's? Is there anything?
Mm, I think are we using Crocker as a scapegoat though?
Maybe, but
Like you brought in these guys. They're not defenders. Big T's never been a defender.
yeah, I guess that's true. It's a personnel thing.
It's just like you don't really necessarily have it. And that's why you got to be so, I think, offensively gifted if you're going to have this team, because you're not a team that's going to predicate themselves on stops.
That's fair. The correct way to frame it, which is what you're saying right now, I think, is it's more less so like what is the actual product because they're still
Mhm.
40th defensively. That's
Yeah,
not
it's not terrible. And like Stojakovic can be a good defender, and for everything we're saying, Kylan can be a good point of attack defender as well.
right. It's just
Right? Wait, right?
well, point of attack, yeah. You framed this correctly. You were sitting on my couch and said this. He is maybe, probably not, but maybe the best on-ball point of attack defensive guard in the country. Yes, cool. He's
Mhm.
also terrible off ball.
Right.
He's also terrible chasing. If you make him guard like Rip Hamilton actions, he's awful. And it's that I guess that's two different skill sets.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know why that is. It doesn't feel like it should be, but it is. I would just like to point this out. You stole Cameron Crocker from Colgate. He's the quote unquote defensive coordinator that came from Colgate, where he had the same role. Colgate last season was 295th in the country in defensive efficiency. They were horrible defensively. Out goes Cam Crocker to Illinois. Colgate has jumped up 100 spots in defensive efficiency without Cam Crocker, with largely the same personnel. I've scouted Colgate for when they played Michigan State and when they played Illinois earlier this year. Their team is mostly the same guys. And they've taken a 100 spot defensive efficiency leap since their defensive coordinator left for Illinois. Illinois is identical in defensive efficiency to where they were a year ago. Now, I would push back and say, in theory, this year's team has better defenders, though. Maybe I'm wrong. Trey White's gone and Merez is gone, but
Yeah.
like,
Trey White, Mraz. Yeah.
like Andre was supposed to be a game changer defensively.
Mhm.
I think Wagler, even despite his miscue on the final possession, is a pretty great inherent defender given his length.
Mhm.
Kasparis, I think, was pretty terrible defensively.
Okay, also, I think that 40th is fake.
Like, you think it's going to keep getting worse?
I think that 40th is getting padded by some good defensive performances by bad teams.
That's where I'm at too. I think
If they play a good basketball team, then you can get what you want defensively. And here's where I'm coming at it from it too. I don't expect them to be this great defensive team, but also like what's the calling card?
right,
Like when I look at bad defensive teams that are also good, they do one thing at least good. Like are you forcing turnovers? Are you or what are you doing that's necessarily even somewhat of a calling card defensively?
right,
Because Nebraska was able to get layups, threes. They didn't turn the ball over.
right.
Like and now Nebraska, I'm pretty sure is a good team at taking care of the ball. So that's not like crazy, but like you aren't like what's the vision here?
Yeah. Also, respectfully to I guess all parties on all different sides of this sentence, this is like the third, if not fourth time this year that Illinois has gotten absolutely popped off on by one guy. Now, I'm about to like rattle off some of the best players in the country, but that says something. We're 11 games into a season and you gave up 35 to Toppin, who, by the way, has two other games at 30 this year. Like he's been in the teens more than he's been in anything else. You gave up 35 to him. Um, Phylon went nuts against you. I think Phylon had 24, but Phylon does that. We're one game removed from a Bruce Thornton 34 ball, which, again, by the way, Bruce Thornton only has one other game in the 30s.
Right. And that
He's
and that Phylon game was 19 in the second half, the ceiling.
And then Peyton Sanford, or Jesus, Price Sanford, he looked like Peyton Sanford in this game with, I think, a career high. He's never had 30 before. So, like, you've given up 30 to basically opposing team's best guy in a third of your games?
It's a pattern.
What is that? Like, and the whole thing is like, oh, we'll just switch everything. It's not working. You're switching, and then the best player's torching you.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to score on this Illinois team.
Right.
You take out what they do well, which is Kylan as a point of attack defender. You get him either moving off ball and or just set a screen. And then you're coming off and looking at a Balkan and drop coverage. And it's like, what would you want to do? You want a three? You want to go to the hoop? Oh, maybe he actually does a good job. Then I got two guys in the corner that are looking at God knows what in the arena, kick to somebody else. It's like very like running on air, make a decision, make shots, and you
Right.
can build on a team.
It is so different too, as we say this. What's happening to Illinois defensively is so different than the way Nebraska plays. And it's why I love this Nebraska defense so much. My favorite team to watch defensively in the country. Because Nebraska basically says, we are going to force you to beat us our way. We want you to bomb from three. But more importantly, we're going to force the guys we want to bomb from three. It's not going to be Tom Ivicic. We will scramble and get to Ivicic and alter his attempts. We're going to funnel shots to the guys we want shooting. That's what Nebraska is doing like night after night after night right now. Illinois, think about it. The opposite is happening. Illinois is basically saying, oh, yeah, your star can beat us.
Mhm.
We're not giving any resistance to that whatsoever. If your best player wants to get 35 to beat us, we will allow that. And then in this game, like, I guess give Brad credit, he did adjust, right? They went into halftime tied and basically said, we don't want that to happen again. Let's change the way we defend this. So rather than a very passive approach, they were almost face guarding Price Sanford and making sure he did not do this again. Um, did you like that adjustment? I mean, I think you had to make that adjustment, but it's not exactly Brad's MO historically to make in-game adjustments like that.
I was caught in a Dun Ross and a hard place because the adjustment was great. Couldn't it have been just a wee bit earlier? Like maybe don't let him touch 30 before we adjust.
In theory.
Honestly, can we, and I mean we as you and I, can we set an adjustment period?
Sure.
I think right around when 17 straights rattled off, that's when we should take a kind of look within. Like if they're at 17 with no misses and or 1 to 2 misses, then we maybe get into a little something else.
Sure.
That's the sweet spot. 17. Shout out to the mid rankings.
That feels fair. Look, I am not going to say this was a perfect Brad Underwood game by any means. I don't think his team was ready to play whatsoever. You can't get credit as a coach if your team comes out the locker room this flat, and they came out the locker room this flat. I have some pretty serious concerns about what is going on with Brad Underwood's doghouse right now. We can talk through those in a moment. But I do want to say this, and this is my personal view on this. I am seeing a lot of like Brad slander on the timeline. I am seeing a lot of, oh, there he goes again, worst in-game coach in the country. That wasn't the story of this game. Brad made all the right adjustments in this game, I thought. I was saying this to you in real time as we watched it. Like, it's not what they want to do. Of course, it's not what Illinois wants to do. But he put the shooters on the floor. You have to put the shooters on the floor. To beat Nebraska, you have to have like catch and shoot threats all over the floor. And once he did that, he got Murk on the bench. He put Davis and Henrichhouse in. I thought even though Davis and Henrichhouse's offensive numbers individually are not good, it helped Wagler. It helped Andre that those guys were on the floor. It led to offensive success to almost win the game. And it's like something I feel like just at a glance, you'd be like, well, why? We went to the wrong guys. No, you went to the right guys. You needed those guys on the floor with what Nebraska does. And they both hit a big one late and kept you in it. I think on the other element of this, defensively, like, do I wish he adjusted quicker? Do I wish he had a better plan out the gate for Price? Of course. He also fixed the Price problem, right? Like, say, after all of this, after Price goes nuclear, you're tied at halftime. And he changed the way they do things. Like, it was other guys that beat you. Nebraska's just good. So at the end of this, I come out of this actually applauding Brad Underwood for putting his team in the best spot to win. This loss is entirely on the players to me, on every single one. And we can assign blame to different guys. Kylan was clueless defensively. Tommy is nowhere to be found. Merk is in Serbia, as Brad puts it. Like this is just a total look in the mirror game from the players and not Brad Underwood's fault to me.
Yeah, look, I think that it's fair to point out Brad conundrums or issues, but I said it to start this off. Your front court that has been one of the better front courts, and like dog, Merck has been one of the better freshmen in the country. He gave you 4-2
Free
and was
Merk, man. Free Merk, man.
and was benched
Till it's
for good
backwards.
for good reason too, by the way.
Free Merk till it's backwards.
For good reason he was. And then you have your other center who, he's talking about. I mean, it was always like this was a guy who was talking about. I got the league plans after this year, like I'm out. No, his first basket came to tie the game.
Yeah.
Second half, he only had 3 attempts in 29 minutes. It's like and look, I think we give credit to Nebraska's defense, but also like call it what it is. Your starting front court gave you 7-7.
Right.
That's something I would expect out of my front court last year when it was Zapala at the helm. When
Right.
I was doing Zapala, Madi Sissoko conversations.
Right.
For this front court to have 7-7 is insane.
Right. Yep. It's unacceptable, point blank. And we can go into those guys individually in just a moment. I actually want to give some credit to Andre because on paper, this defense is a nightmare matchup for Andre.
Mm.
Like they're not usually ever going to let you get downhill and you're gonna have to finish through three or four guys. And I thought Andre would almost be I thought there was potential Andre would get murked in this game.
Ah,
Basically schematically played off the floor and Brad being like, we can't play you. Andre actually was great. And I give him credit. Just for those keeping score at home, Cart, can we do another quick tally on this? So Andre was great in this game.
Alder is good in this game, yeah.
Possibly Illinois' best player, would you say? Maybe Wagler,
I
but
think Wagler probably would get the nod for me, but
Wagler made some big mistakes late though.
yeah, but I'm not gonna get mad at 19-10.
1910 is what Andre got you without mistakes late.
That's fair.
Anyways, point being this, Andre was amazing. Did they win the game again?
Mm-mm.
Huh. Little correlation there, maybe?
Well, you could do the same. Like Burke plays bad, they lose.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. If Illinois wants to reach the ceiling I want, they have to get Ivisic and Murkovich going. They cannot abandon those guys and be like, oh, well, shucks.
Can we blame those guys for not getting going?
Yeah, it's their fault. But I'm giving Andre credit. I want to continue coming back to this point every single time because it's real. If games become games that have to be Andre games, it's what the opponent wants. It's really hard to beat a team going 50% on tough twos. And Andre did amazing again in this game. He's amazing. But if this is like 50% of the games now where you could argue Andre's been Illinois' best player, it's pretty much the bad half of their performances.
Yeah. Well, Andre had to do this.
Right. But we got to get other guys going. We have to get other guys going.
But we can't. But we can't. We can't. We can't. They don't want to hoop.
Well, if
They
they
don't want to
don't
hoop.
want
And
to hoop,
if you don't want to hoop, then God damn it, I will.
if our
I'm
answer,
standing, and I'm with you though. I'm with you at the same time, but I feel like I gotta stand with Andre on this one too.
I'm applauding Andre. This is getting
Fake
twisted.
applause. It's a golf
No,
clap. It's a golf clap.
it's not a golf clap. Andre's amazing. It's bad for Illinois if this is the product. That's all I've been saying. I've been saying it for a month, and I've been right the whole time. They like it, and by the way, the only thing that's changed here since I floated this a month ago is how we're handling Merck's bad games now. We've gone from like playing him through it, being like, we got to get more out of him, to now blaming him, blasting his practice habits publicly, and just putting him on the bench behind Jake Davis. So just want to make sure we evaluate it in real time. We are reacting. If you want to call it reactionary, fine. It is reactionary. We're reacting to what just happened, losing as 10-point favorites at home. If this is going to be the response to bad Merc, instead of getting it fixed, instead of figuring it out, if it's just going to be phasing him out and blaming him, which, by the way, you did to multiple guys on last year's team that are now contributing to top 10 defenses in the sport. Trey White's looking pretty fucking great in his role at Kansas right now. He was the problem last year. Merez isn't good enough. We want Ivisich's. It's looking pretty fucking great as the entire identity of Michigan right now. I mean, dog, fuck, Adam Miller's crushing for Gonzaga defensively right now. Like, just repetitively every year, there's a guy whose fault it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Merck is well on his way to becoming that guy.
I think we could go back and every guy you just mentioned, though, we're like Merez is a good defender. We saw that. Merez is a good defender and tough. We knew that. Who was the other? Not Adam Miller, the other one.
Trey White.
Trey White. Like, we called him like that's a good defender, good player. A little bit inconsistent, but like good player. Like,
Yeah,
what
but
is he
also
supposed
in January of last year, Brad was doing this to Trey too. He got DMPs in the middle of the season. And
Yeah.
again, I'm saying Merck deserves it. I applaud Brad Underwood for benching my favorite player. I'm just if we're gonna sit here and be like, yeah, Merck deserved it, bench. We also have to realize what that means. Like, we're breaking it. Breaking it. If we're at the point where like we're kind of giving up on it for this game because we have to, that means you haven't solved a critical piece to this team's ceiling.
That's okay. I'm with you. We're in line there.
We can't give up on it. If we give up on it, this is what we're going to end up getting. We're going to get Andre 20 balls every night with role players around him, and the team's going to be a lot easier to beat. It is critical. They have two things. They have to get Tommy going. He's not right now. And they have to get Merck back on good terms here. They cannot doghouse Merck for the season. And I'm sorry I'm getting ahead of myself on it, but y'all do this every year to one guy. Y'all scapegoat one guy every single year. And I do not like where the freshman who got you 20 and 20 in a game in his first week is at right now. But I get why he is. He was terrible in this game. My question is why?
Because the opponent was good.
Is that all it is?
Yeah, but no, he had a good performance against Tennessee.
He's coming off 22 and 9 against Ohio State. Like, and I get guys,
good opponents.
Guys are going to be inconsistent. I get it. But doesn't this form of inconsistency feel weird though? It's not just what happened in this game. It's what Brad said after.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The inconsistencies for Merck are so sabotagey, like killer. And I'm not sure how to necessarily put this, but like there's like missing shots, right? There's missing shots. That happens. But he is such a net negative when he's playing bad. It's like bad.
I
Really
haven't
bad.
felt that way until this game, for what it's worth.
Okay.
I mean, this is his second game this season in single digits. I don't think he has played this bad, even though he had his worst game before this was 8-8 against UConn with one turnover.
What about the Bama game?
He had 10 and 10 and 4 assists to one turnover. I get bad. There's levels to bad. That's not 2020. But Merck's bad nights before tonight were still on the floor, flirt with a double-double, and not just flipping the ball to the other team. This was a new level of bad. And again, Brad did the right thing. He deserved to be benched. I just, if this is going to become a consistent theme, that is how Illinois will lose my belief. I'm not interested in this Illinois team if they're going to go away from Merck. I think he is a large part of what makes them special. They have to get him going. They have to. And to me, at least, it like why it was so bad in this game to me at least makes sense, Cart, because it's a really tough defensive matchup for how he plays offensively.
Hmm.
Like they're not gonna let Merck get like garbage putback points, and they swarm defensively and throw weird guys in places they shouldn't be. I'm not surprised he had a turnover problem. Brad seemed to bench him for effort, which did you notice effort problems from him in this game? I didn't really notice them, but
No, he's slow footed.
right.
That's who he is. And let me ask you this here: has he been doghoused and playing well? Because in my head, he's getting benched or doghoused for good reason because he's playing bad.
To me, again, this is only his second bad game of the year. He's got quite a bar for bad if we're saying he's had a lot of bad performances this year.
I mean, like the Bama one you pointed out, 10-10. That's 10-10-4 is good. I get that.
Or assists, 3 steals and a block.
He also did not score in the second half and was 4 for 13 and visibly missing wide open layups.
He's not a perfect player.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, he was 4 for 13.
Can you apply the same leniency you gave Jeremy Fears when he went 0 for 8 and you said, but he did this to David Murkovich one time? Because
No,
this is the first game of his career where he has not been hella productive. Even if whatever visually you're seeing, every single game before this, even the UConn game, in 18 minutes, he got you 8 and 8. If he had played 36 minutes of that game, he goes for 16 and 16. Like, I know that's not how this works,
on
but
6
like,
for 20 shooting.
sure, sure. It's still production on a team that desperately needs it because what's the alternative? Like,
Yeah.
what when you go away from Merck, what does it mean?
Should mean like Big T, but yeah.
Zvonimir? They've built this roster in a way where it all hinges on him.
Mhm.
You getting better minutes from Henriquez?
Brad's fault.
Yeah, maybe it is. Or like at minimum, the one thing I will criticize Brad for, I don't think this is the right approach. Even if look, I don't know David Mirkovich. We hear Brad repeatedly say these two love each other. We hear him say these two communicate in each other's perfect way. Maybe in that sense, that means like Brad going to the podium and being like, yeah, fuck him. He was terrible. Maybe that's exactly how David Mirkovich needs to be coached. I don't know, but I don't like it because I think these guys are volatile. I do. I think Merck is a total wild card. And if you flirt with calling a wild card the entire reason you lost, you couldn't play him and he's in Serbia, that's just an extra level of like, you are blaming the kid. And if he deserves blame, fine. But like, manage this in a way that you're not going to lose him, is all I'm saying. And I'm not even talking next year, I'm talking for the remainder of this year. Because while this is going on, while you've got courtside fans dressed up as Balkan mob, your Balkans are barely playing right now. Petro didn't take his clothes off. Like, if I'm Merck and Petro, I'm 100% like in the group chat that doesn't speak English on the side after this game. Like, dog, what are we doing? All we're doing is getting blamed. Like, this can't work, I don't think. And if people don't want to say that out loud or get mad at me for stirring the pot, fine. But I'm just like to me, the season hinges on this one. This is not Trey White. This is not like, oh, well, we're going to go wherever Kasparis goes anyway. The season hinges on figuring out Merck and getting him at his best.
Mhm.
And I think I'm happy they benched him because he deserved it. I'm unhappy with how they're commenting on it after. I think it's crazy to be so pointed about this.
I'm in line with you on that. Like the commentary part about it, because also like you're returning all Big Ten level center gave you 3 and 5.
But played 29 minutes. It's never T's fault.
If this team hinges on Murkovich, this team is probably cooked.
Dog, Tommy Avicic didn't score in his first 28 minutes in this game
Yeah,
and
yeah,
got you 5 rebounds.
Yeah,
Was he in Serbia? Are all the Serbians in Serbia?
possibly.
Where's Serbia? Do we just need a home game in Serbia?
They did bring it up.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. All right, you got anything else on the Merc situation right now?
Um, it's a weird place to be in because I think Merck is the type of player that you just have to, and maybe this is me finally getting in line with you on this. He is what he is, and you kind of got to embrace him for what he is. And if you don't, then you lose him. If that kind of makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what you signed up for. He can be a little bit erratic. He can be a little bit of a wild card, but like you gotta probably just play through that and play through him no matter what. Because he's still one of your most skilled basketball players.
You didn't tonight. I want to be clear just on my distinction here. They should have benched Merck. That was the right move because you had to get shooting on the floor in some way. And it was either going to have to be Merck or Andre who was benched, and Andre was playing amazing. So they had the perfect personnel. They made the right adjustments, right moves in this game. Um, there's a difference, bench. Come on, dog. There's a difference, but this is crazy. There's a difference between benching Merck for one game, and there's a difference between this is a sign of things to come. And
Mhm.
my concern here is that the way this was handled after the game feels like a sign of things to come. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I hope I am. I have to be wrong on that to continue believing in this Illinois team.
Can I, can I also do the my team, my coach thing here?
Yes, of course.
One thing I always give my coach credit for is I think he talks about certain players a certain way, knowing that they can take it and they need to be coached like that. And I say this all the time. Don't don't listen to anybody who says that all players need to be coached the same. And like that's not how it works. There's so many different personalities in basketball, so many different things that make players tick. Uh, We are in an unfortunate world where like we talked about it 3 years ago. We come on this podcast and be like, let's take off the kids' gloves with this player. You do have to someone handle these kids with kids' gloves sometimes. And you know what? Outside looking in, I don't know if this is like the way I want to get the best version out of Merck. And obviously, I don't know him. You don't know him. You don't know the situation between him and Brad. But just pure speculation here, I just don't see this being like the thing that makes this guy tick.
Well, it's not even regardless of like if it is the right or wrong way to push his buttons and get him right. I'm going to give Brad the benefit of the doubt on that. What I will say is this, just going off you and I's spot in the universe of this as we have followed this since they brought in David Murkovich. Card, there was a reason coming into the season, the people covering this team that saw practice in the summer had Merck as like the eighth most impactful guy. Because these types of issues that Brad's alluding to were happening all summer. Remember, Brad was like, or Merck was like the one guy who was available at practice all summer.
Mhm.
And what did we hear? Hey, he's good. He's a hothead. Like his practice habits are crazy. He's all over the place. So, like, he came out the gates storming hot. We were all like, how could anybody say he's low impact on this team? Probably because there has been concern repeatedly with habits. And the concerning thing wasn't Brad joking saying he's in Serbia. The concerning thing was Brad saying he had two terrible practices.
Mhm.
Brad came into this game based on whatever happened this week in practice, basically looking for a way to get Merck on the bench to me. And this feels an awful lot like the way Trey White was handled in the middle of last year. Remember, we had some great Trey White performances early. He was rebounding his ass off. And then all of a sudden, that team started dropping like flies, and Trey White did not play for 3 straight games.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
again, but like I'm not trying to go back and be like they should have made different decisions. But like simultaneously, it's hard for me right now because Trey White's like something this team could use. Playing great for Kansas right now, being like a consummate winning player, tough guy.
Isn't Trey White just doing the same things that Stojakovic is doing though?
Yeah, I'm not Illinois upgraded. Yes, not the same because Andre's a way better scorer than Trey, but
Yeah, but
uh,
I'm just saying like same ish role.
he walked out the door in Champaign with everyone saying that's a losing player.
Hmm.
He's not doing losing things at Kansas right now.
That's fair.
If Merck and Brad's relationship remains where it is for the rest of the year, I think there's a pretty damn good chance they're going to be saying the same things about Merck. Oh, he's a losing player. Can't trust him. He's not. You have to get him at his best. You have to find a way as his coach to get him at his best. Brad is not doing that right now. Even if he wants to put the blame on Merck, figure it out. This kid's too special. And I don't know how they're going to. Okay, what else?
So Nebraska.
We already hit all the Nebraska
Yeah.
shit, I feel like.
Yeah, no, we did. I just want to make sure Huskers Nation. They also needed this one too because their volleyball team got smoked.
Brad said after the game it was Hoiberg. He was like, that was the guy like we had no answer for. He just did everything for him. He set the tone.
Which one? Oh, the actual player Hoiberg?
Little Hoiberg. He was like
Little Hoiberg.
he said he thought he controlled the entire game.
Listen, I love Sam Hoiberg for what he does on the basketball court. I also completely blame him for the fact that Connor Enright's playing 30 minutes in Indiana.
Mm. Yeah,
That's
could
that's
happen.
basically that's basically kind of what it is. But no, like
He
it's
had
just
7, 6, and 5 in 31 minutes with zero turnovers.
yeah, he made all the right plays.
He does make all the right plays. He's very smart.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Hoiberg had more. I'm not gonna say more assists than their point guard because Wagler was kind of a point guard, but like he had as many rebounds as Tomovicic in 29 minutes and had three more rebounds than Merck had in his 23 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just like he's just hella productive. That's all it is.
Yep. Permission to make a Hoiberg joke.
Can I? I'll give you that permission after I also say this. They put 83 on your ass and they didn't get to the free throw line. That means they were legit just scoring on you.
Uh-huh.
All they did, they scored. They didn't even have to get to the free throw line.
Uh-huh.
Y'all weren't even tough enough to foul.
So you think this is a toughness issue?
No, it's not. It's more like it's not because I don't want that to be the thing here. It's that they're just bad defensively.
I think it's a toughness issue.
If they were tougher inherently, they would be better defensively.
I think
Yes.
you want to say it's a toughness issue. I think you should like I'm in agreement with you. I don't think this Illinois team has toughness whatsoever. I think Merck is the toughness and they're going away from it.
I think they were tough during the Tennessee game.
And you don't think Merck is tough. So like we even disagree on that. But like
Merck is one of the tougher players on this team.
Andre's tough to guard. Kylan's tough until you make him run for 3 seconds. Katon is trying to be tough. He needs one more year of Fletch. Tommy is not tough whatsoever. One of the least tough matchups you will find in the country for a player that good.
Yeah. Big Z.
Zvonimir is
Big Z.
Zvonimir, one of the fakest tough guys ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, I do believe Merck is tough, but they're going away from it, and I can see how his toughness comes and goes. It's erratic. Humrickhouse and Davis are not tough. There's your rotation. So you have 1.5 guys that could maybe qualify for tough. Kylan and I guess how do you feel about Merck? But like that is, I think, a problem that's not exactly going to be solved, even if you get Merck going. Like maybe we could reframe it instead of the word toughness. Physicality is always going to be an issue for this group.
Yeah.
You will
Yep.
always be able to look at this front court and be like, we can get to them physically.
Hmm.
Always. There is not a personnel answer on that. And that is the frustrating part. Again, the decisions they've made. They went away from two guys who were extremely physical to me. They went away from, like, how much, don't you just love this team so much more if instead of saying we want two Ivisiches, you just paid Merez?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love this team so much more if they had just gone that route instead. And
Hmm.
I know none of us thought Tom was going to regress in every single way, but he has. And now you're stuck with a front court that no one is afraid of at all.
Right. Like, dog, Big Z got a tech in this game when they were like in a dogfight. Not even a dogfight, but like they're in a close game. He gets a tech and says, "I don't care."
It's another one that Brad said after,
But you
too.
also don't. You also that's the issue. It's the issue that you don't care.
It's another one that Brad said, too. I should have stopped that shit in practice. That's on me. So if I could get a quick Balkan check with you here, one of them's not playing at all. Petro's just not on the team. Might as well not be. Merk benched the entire second half, blamed. Zvonimir, 10 minutes, blamed. Immature. Big T plays the whole game, does nothing. Ain't this the whole team? Haven't we just been billed? It's the Illinois Balkans. That's what they are. Brad said he loves these guys for their maturity, right? Wasn't
Oh
that what he
no.
billed all offseason? He loves the way they're wired. They're more serious about basketball.
Oh
And
no.
you have two of them in the doghouse, one of them out of the rotation, and one of them playing terrible.
You realize something, right?
What do I realize?
It's back.
What's back?
We thought the Housewives was gonna go to a different location this season.
But I don't, it's not affect like the chemistry of this team's good. I just think like
For
Brad can't
now, for now.
Brad can't simultaneously tell us how mature these European guys are and then get this as results.
Yeah. Well, I don't think did anyone actually buy that these European guys were like what mature? What was the word you used?
I did, yeah, because I think they carry themselves like professional basketball players. I do. But I just like again, you've just been gassing up how great these guys are maturity wise, practice habits wise, and you literally said Merck had two terrible practices and Zvonimir's been too immature at practice. And where's Petro? like those three things happening at once while you praise how much you love coaching Europeans is like can't happen to me. I don't know how we square that, you know?
Yeah. Listen. I don't even know if I know how to square it either. But
Like the most mature player on this team has been Wagler.
Kyler's been. I don't know if Kyler's a maturity issue.
Okay.
So, but I think there's none in the front court whatsoever. I think the worst thing this team can do is when they know guards wings at one end of the floor and big man at the other end of the court.
Yeah. But even while we say that, Mass didn't even go inside. Like I felt like they were leaving points on the table, refusing to beat Illinois up inside as Mass.
Yeah, they could have if they wanted to. It's very easy to go inside on this basketball team.
Yeah.
They're just there.
They are just there. Top 50 in 2 point defense still.
Is it you can't sort on Kemptown, right? Sort is a Torvik tool.
Yeah, I don't know what you need to sort. It's just right on the page. Top 50 in 2 point defense.
Yeah. What's that one Bronny mean? Talking about your chain fake? Fake 2 point defense.
Maybe. We'll see. Late game stuff. Ran great offensive quick hitters. They had the play that Kylan screened that Big T hit the three on. Thought that was a great X's and O's moment for Brad. I thought the Humrickhouse corner three was big. He wasn't playing great, and he still hit that to like basically give this team a chance. Last possession. Nebraska takes timeout. There's 7 seconds left. They got to go full court. As it was unfolding with a Nebraska money line ticket in my pocket, I hated it. I thought it was too slow operating. I thought Hoiberg himself was going to do something stupid. Now, credit to him. He makes a great read. Lawrence hits the big shot. Game over. What'd you see on the final play? It looks like, if you really slow it down, it looks like Katon just overhelped.
Yeah.
Is that an inexperience mistake from Katon? Do you think it was just a good play?
I think it was more good play than anything and just good shot by Lawrence, honestly, in that situation. But I do think there was just a millisecond of mental lapse there from the freshman. I think a little bit, but also like I think you just give credit to Lawrence. The shot was just super tough.
Yeah, was special play. I'll use this moment to make this point. I'm not doing it just because of the final play, but I felt I could see this while watching it. After all of that talk this summer about how old and experienced Illinois is this year, that's retention. This was them going up against a team that's actually old and experienced. This is real age and experience. This is real. Nebraska has been through it with these guys. We start five upperclassmen that have largely all played together. They're 21st in the country in D1 experience. That's what this Nebraska team is. That's what I think Illinois was kind of unfairly being billed as.
Hmm.
Illinois is still young. Illinois is still erratic with a lot of different guys from all over the world trying to figure each other out.
Yeah.
And on the final play, I do think that kind of matriculate, like in the big moments in this game, I thought you could just trust Nebraska. They didn't really make any mistakes. And Illinois did make mistakes, including Keaton overhelping on the final play. With that said, let me defend Keaton for a second.
Also, well, before you defend Keaton too, I thought that even before that, I think that Nebraska was up one. I want to say Nebraska was up one. Hoiberg drives to the hole, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, okay, we're really going Sam Hoiberg right now, trying to put this game away, and and he misses a layup. He misses a layup, and he goes out of bounds, and is the first person to come back in bounds and get his own rebound off a missed layup.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Keaton like kind of like in the outlet position as if someone's gonna get the rebound. Rick House was boxing out Mass. And he went to go lay it up, and Andre's just kind of looking at the ball. And then all of a sudden, Sam Hoiberg is somehow the first to the ball. He gets it. He goes to lay it up again and misses it. And then out of nowhere, once again, I think it was Garcia, who, by the way, like I respectfully, I haven't seen that guy all year, really. And he had 10 big bench points in this basketball game, made a lot of winning basketball plays. He gets the offensive rebound, and Sam Hoiberg misses another layup, and then they tip it in.
Jared Garcia, the Tulsa transfer big man who has not scored in double figures this entire season, who only has two games with more than three rebounds this year. Those came against USC Upstate and FIU.
And he was everywhere in this basketball game.
He gives him 10 and 4 and is eye-poppingly physical and good
Yeah,
against Illinois' front court.
yeah.
It's tough to come to terms with.
But sorry, back to your point about not blaming Keaton.
Just on the final play, Wagler had to help. It was a layup if he didn't.
Hmm.
Slow it down and go back and watch the tape. He did overhelp. He overhelped because I forget who was even guarding. Like they got beat.
Wait, can we do this live right now?
Yeah, look it up. For the 900th time in this game, the point of attack defender got destroyed.
Right. So
And
here, so it was like they had Mass and it looks like Sanford come to the elbow. Sanford kind of sets a screen. Probably should have been a switch in that situation because Kylan was guarding Sanford.
I was
Just
gonna say, I think Kylan hugged Sanford, which was
yeah,
probably out of the timeout. They probably were like, we're not switching off Sanford. That'll fuck us. So in that sense, okay, whatever. But like he got 2 feet in the paint with zero issue, you know?
right. And honestly, that was an issue in itself because luckily Rickhouse helped over and not up because he probably would have just dished it for a layup to I think it looks like it's Garcia down there.
Yeah.
Um, so Wagner kind of yeah, it was more so like things that I think happened up top that went wrong, which forced Keaton to kind of be in that spot that he's in. It's not like he helped off strong side corner. That's where I'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
that's the wrong thing there.
I mean,
He also he also closed out. Actually, can I nitpick one thing?
of course, yeah.
2 seconds there, you're closing out. He kind of closed out, got there, and then like acted like he was gonna drive. At that point, the shots, it's gonna go up.
That was a middle of the game closeout instead of a there's 2 seconds on the clock closeout. But yeah, I think Keaton himself was like, yeah, I probably just helped off too much. I didn't think he did. I thought he needed to help, otherwise it was a layup. Maybe you could say you want a Sam Hoiberg floater over a contested one dribble three. That feels revisionist to me. Like he had to help, otherwise it was a wide open shot in the paint, and just did not recover in time. Once again, Illinois defensive issues kind of sticking the nail in the coffin. Before we go out of this, Keaton's amazing.
Yeah, he's so good.
He didn't come
So
off the floor, Cart. He played all 40 minutes and gave you 19 points, 10 assists, and 3 turnovers. This Nebraska defense is so confusing to play against for a true freshman to have 10 assists against it. He's insane. And he doesn't need to come off the floor. He could lead the country in minutes if Brad wants to. It's crazy to me how good he is.
yeah, and he's also like even if he's not hitting shots, he's just a net positive player.
Doesn't make mistakes,
Yeah,
except for the final closeout. But like to me, that wasn't even a mistake.
right. Or even some of this. I mean, look, and I don't know. I feel good. Like I wanted the ball in Wagner's hands.
I guess he did have the big turnover in the final minute. But
He
that,
did
even that, it's like, wasn't Andre cutting or Kylan, one of the two?
possibly, but also like he made the wrong decision in that spot. Like
Yeah,
that's why
okay.
I want. That's why I want making the decision. Honestly, out of who's on the floor.
So maybe these are just Keaton growing pains.
Yeah, I think that comes. I think that comes with it.
It's a terrifying prospect because if he's having growing pains, that means he's still growing.
Well, that is the major issue here. We need the NBA draft to intervene, Greg.
Quick,
Speaking of Big Ten,
feel like you and I are gonna have to do this like once a week the rest of the season. Quick, what do we expect there? Check in. I think I have the answer.
what do you as far as like him going to the league?
We like I think 2 weeks ago we would have been like, Illinois should do everything they can to get year two Keaton. They can probably pay
Oh,
him.
I've switched, and I feel like I should have even said this to you. He's get what you want now. He's gone.
He's way too good.
He's way too good. And you're telling me an NBA team like is not looking at this right now and being like, dog,
Yeah.
this is him right now too. Like I'm gonna get him right now. And by the time he's like what, he'll be like in his fifth year in the league and be 23
Yeah.
and be bigger and all that stronger and everything associated with that. Like, yeah,
Yep. And the secret's out. There's nothing else to protect at this point. You just want to get great play from him. So,
right. Yeah,
yeah, I think that's where it's headed. He's just too good. He's literally just, this is a level of good. Even in my wildest dreams, when they were comparing him to Io, I just didn't think it was real or possible. And even if he was going to live up to those, I didn't think it'd be this. Like he's way better than Casper's and Riley were. Like way
yeah,
better. Um,
right.
you don't just this is it's too good. You have a player 6'6" that's this good, this young. There's nothing you can do other than applaud him and remember him fondly. And I know we're getting ahead of ourselves. Things can change, obviously, but if he keeps this level up, he's a guaranteed top 20 pick
Yeah.
in a year where the lottery's loaded. By the way, but like if I'm an NBA team, this is just a guy you have to get in the teens in this draft. Quick hitters before we get out. Lastly, why is Tommy worse at everything this year?
Hurt, injury?
That would be the overarching excuse that I think would make this okay. I would point out that he's playing full minutes share right now. They've played him 31, 27, 29 minutes in the last three. He did have that series of games after his return where he had 11 and 10 against UConn, 16 and 5 against Tennessee. I don't think he looked hurt in those games, but he's not doing this against other teams. He has had 2 games this season.
Right. I think you just expected him to take a jump from what was he at last year? 13-8?
Production wise, everything is down.
Yeah.
I just to sort of frame this correctly, he's actually been absurd from 2 point range. He's shooting 79% from two on the year. Shoot more of them. For the love of God, he's attempted 33 threes to 24 twos. He's making 33% of his threes. That's down 30%. What he's good at is finishing and post moves, and he's not doing them. His rebounding rates are just way down, way, way, way down. His assist rate's cut in half. His turnover rate is up. His block rate is down. His free throw percentage has tanked.
He
He is
he
he's just worse. He's
he's a
worse at
play
everything right now.
because he's a player that's predicated on if he's hitting threes.
And he's not, so there's nothing there.
Right. That's what it is. And weirdly, I think he like and maybe honestly it might be an Avicic family member thing. They are so predicated on how they play if their 3-point shots are going in. And I'm talking about like not only production wise, I'm talking about just like mentally. If they're not hitting threes, they look like they are a little bit lost at times because they don't want to go down low. They don't want to do that. That's not that's not how they were raised.
I mean, the thing I would say is even when he has a quiet game, I still think he has immense value on the court, and that is a defensive end. Like Nebraska was very fixated on where T was in this game, making sure he wasn't the guy that beat them from three. I think, there's not many other players on the team. Like if T wasn't on the court, they would basically just live with open threes from other guys. So he had value on the court in this game, even without scoring. At this point, though, it's got to just change. Otherwise, I don't know what we do. And I'll believe whatever the experts say. If the experts want to tell me he's still hurt, if someone around this program wants to say he's not conditioned, I'll believe it and just sort of give him a get out of jail free. What I would say is this: that has to change. Otherwise, there should be some pretty serious discussions. Like he was all over the place. Yes, struggling with injury and stuff, but like he got a surgery that kept him out a month before the season. It was an emergency surgery. We never really got the story on this. This guy just feels like a guy that it should not need 3 months to get in shape. I'm sorry. He's supposed to be your best player. If he's not in shape by January, what are we doing? He's played 8 straight games, and you're telling me he's not in shape? That's like totally unacceptable for a serious basketball player to me. And his KenPom player comp has gone from a year ago, Hunter Dickinson, which felt real. He felt like freshman Hunter Dickinson last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Great. That's
Yeah.
why we projected him to be a top 8 player in this league. This year it's Steven Crowell. He's gone from Hunter Dickinson to Steven Crowell in a year.
It was disrespectful to Stephen Crowell.
I don't know what you do, man. I don't know what you do with this.
It's always like, even looking back to last year, it's just something like his shot attempts are down, minutes down. Like he's a 7-footer that doesn't get to the free throw line. It's just like, I don't know. It's a very 3-point shot heavy indicative player, and he's not just a sniper from out there right now.
Yeah, maybe he just has to start making them. But I mean, that's the hard part for me is we've seen him have great rebounding games. The 10 rebound performance against UConn was awesome. He doesn't have another game this season with more than 5 rebounds. And the team's a good rebounding team. They're not great. They're worse than last year.
And I mean, the UConn is that did Harris play that game?
Terrace did. Yes, he did. He played 15 foul trouble laden minutes.
Okay. Well, there's your 10 boards.
So yeah, I don't know. Even in this game, like I thought, if you're not gonna make 40% of your threes against Nebraska, you got to pummel them on the boards. And Illinois won the boards in this game, but only 13 offensive rebounds. I thought their stretches of good play were when they were dominating the boards, and they need better from T right now because if it's not T, like what are you gonna do? Go to Zvonimir? I don't think you can do that. He's too crazy.
Unserious basketball.
Which I guess if you were describing this team as a whole, is your word unserious right now?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're unserious. I just
They feel like an Novicic team, don't they? Like this is kind of what you signed up for.
I think you're feeling the effects of the Avicii's currently, or just like the this is the Balkan experience isn't going well right now.
Right.
What it is, and the response to that is throw every Balkan under the bus.
Except for T, who is probably the number one that deserves to be thrown under the bus, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, this is yeah, true. Yeah, true.
So
I'm good on this Illinois team.
I'm still on the bandwagon.
I know you are.
Nebraska's just good. This is a
Yeah,
nightmare matchup.
Nebraska is good.
And
Illinois is good too.
this
Eh,
this
eh.
this matchup is perfectly designed to raise all of these questions of Illinois' weaknesses. It's like the dream team you could have designed if you're Nebraska. By the way, when they play Purdue, it's the opposite because
What?
Purdue doesn't lose their minds emotionally and makes all their threes and rebounds.
We're not worried about that right
I'm
now.
serious. This is a matchup dependent team. I'm just saying Nebraska's going to look like the best team in the world some matchups, and they're going to look like how the hell are they undefeated other matchups.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But that's what Hoiberg has built. Last question for me: rotation, quick hitters. Petro didn't take his warm ups off. Is that the right decision? Not taking a warm up off is crazy for a 22-year-old you prioritize from Europe.
Yeah, but also at any point in this game were you like, I need to see Petro?
No,
Yeah.
but it's drastic, and I want to make that clear. You have a freshman playing 40 minutes in losses right now. Like, do you know how easy it would be to just give Petro 8 of those?
Yeah. Well, and people close to the program calling him Braden.
I know, but yeah. I just like if there was anything coming with Petro at all, if Brad even just liked him, he'd be playing 8 and Keaton would be playing 32.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like, what? Like, don't both parties just go their separate ways? Like, why is Petro there?
It makes no sense to me. But after the game, Brad was like, "Yeah, that actually wasn't the plan. It kind of just happened." So,
Oh, there's nothing more annoying than when coaches say that.
right, I'm sure Petrovich and his agents are loving this.
That wasn't the plan.
Right.
Well, you control that. What did you get? Did you have like? Do you have a moment where you're like, oh damn it, I forgot to?
That next we're meeting with our Croatian agent dinner is going to be a lot different than the first one, I think.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't honestly wouldn't let these four away from the facility together.
Separate them.
I don't want a Balkan mutiny on this team.
That's fair. That's fair. You might get it though.
If this team played Balkans versus non-Balkans in a 40-minute scrimmage, who wins?
Balkans versus non-Balkans. I think the non-Balkans win.
Keaton Kylan's team wins for sure, right?
Yeah,
Jaxtis Davis Humrickhouse
yeah,
versus the five Balkans.
yeah,
I think so too.
yeah. I feel confident about that. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Have we considered the possibility that the Balkan mobster fans are the actual Balkan mob coming to games to try and free Petrovich?
If they are attempting to do so, they're doing an awful job.
They're doing a really bad job. Illinois Discord also asked for more Brandon Lee minutes. The defense is so bad, we should try Brandon Lee. Your thoughts?
Uh, Classic exercise here. I never found myself in this game saying, "Ooh, we need Brandon Lee out here."
Yeah, I don't know how you look at what Keaton and Kylan are doing right now and say Brandon Lee would fix things.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, the guys that would fix things are at Gonzaga, Kansas, and Michigan.
Or the guys that will fix things are the guys that you got
Hope so.
playing better.
Hope so. Let's wrap with this. If you had to predict where this season ends for Illinois, where would it right now?
316.
You think they do get to a second weekend now?
Yeah.
See, you're not out on this team then, because that's if you were out on this team, you would just do the they lose in the round of 32 every year thing. Nothing different.
No, I think they're going to get an actual. I think they're going to get a pretty simple path, probably, to the Sweet 16, and all they got to do is just not shit on themselves.
So you are predicting a Sweet 16 result directly tied to a bracket that hasn't come out yet.
Yep. I'm talking about like an upset. They play a double-digit seed in the second one, and then in the Sweet 16, they finally go up against somebody and they get UConn again.
Okay. I'm holding strong. This is a Final Four team. And if Merck doesn't get out of the doghouse, I am absolutely abandoning the bandwagon so fast. But
Okay.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that not. Lastly, where does Nebraska's season end? Basically, do you buy this team or not? Like I think they might be top 4 or 5 in this league.
So once again, they're going to get screwed by the draw. Absolutely screwed and play the best three-point shooting team in the country and lose in the first round.
I love bracketology, you, I guess.
You know me and Lenardi been locked in for a minute.
What would the odds be between these two teams on who goes further in the tournament? Is it pick 'em?
I mean, I would if I was making a bet, you would pick Illinois, wouldn't you?
It's probably Illinois minus 130, Nebraska plus 120.
That's
But
gotta be
I wouldn't want to face this Nebraska scheme in the tournament.
yeah, short prep.
Be a nightmare to and you got to play the way they want you to play. That's not fun unless you're Purdue.
How's Purdue always get their way
Well,
into these?
I'm like it's bank on this. Purdue will beat Nebraska by 45.
Ah,
It's the
okay,
nightmare matchup. It's all matchup based.
okay, that's fair. Um, I think I'd still pick Illinois.
I think you have to. Yeah.
You have to, yeah.